Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Crypto Crow. I am still here, and I am coming to you live from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, as they say, and it has been a while. I have had what I would consider to be one of the biggest vacations, some of it forced, and I want to talk about a lot of stuff in this video. It's my first video back in a while, and you know, there's so much stuff going on, and I'm still kind of working on my setup a bit, and it's been absolutely crazy. I will say, though, that I already feel a lot healthier. Bad audio? No, please don't say that. Hold on. Sound is poor. Hold on, let me check, because some of my settings may have gotten a little messed up. Give me a minute. That is fine. Let me see what's happening on this side. Hold on. Let me, hold on. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Sounds like you are on the moon. Okay. Let's see. Sorry about this. I wasn't able to really fix this yet. Line in USB. Well, hell. Live from the moon. Loose wire. Let me check real quick. Good now. Sounds perfect. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it might have been a little bit of a weak connection, so sorry about that. I've literally just set up everything. I'm going to see if I can turn this back on. If the audio goes bad again after I just turn this AC thing back on, then we'll see. It's fixed. Thank goodness. It is so hot. It is so hot, but as you can see, I'm getting a little color. All right, so here's the deal. It is so crazy. It's so good to see everybody again. And you know, this has been a big decision. It's been a very big decision for me and my family, because it's been something that we've planned for a while. And we've thought about, we've talked to a lot of people, talked to Mark Moss, who as you all know, also moved to Puerto Rico a little while back. And, you know, there are a lot of benefits, obviously, to moving to Puerto Rico, but also it's as much about where I'm at in life, because to be quite frank with you, you know, where we lived, we used to live in basically Cincinnati, Ohio, right? And there's just nothing there. Quite frankly, there's just nothing there. I mean, there's Procter & Gamble. That's it. I mean, it's basically a corporate America, climb the ladder kind of society where everybody goes to, you know, the majority of people, everybody goes to a Catholic church, and they're very judgy. Everybody's very judgmental, very nice to your face, but kind of like, you know, stab you in the back kind of stuff. And there are a lot of nice people there, don't get me wrong, but I mean, from a cultural perspective, there just is none where we lived. And, you know, growing up in that tri-state pretty much all our lives, my wife and I both agreed that, you know, I'm in my 40s. I've worked my tail off. I've had a few pretty good years since I got into crypto, and it was time. It was now or never, basically. You know, yes, the tax incentives of Puerto Rico obviously help push us over the edge, because it's basically the only quote-unquote tax haven in the U.S. If you're in Europe, there are like 5 or 6 different tax havens. And I watched a lot of videos from what is it? The Nomad. I can't even remember his name now. I'm drawing a blank. Nomad Capitalist, I think. And I watched a lot of videos with him, even ordered his book, but it never came. It went to the wrong address and I never got it. So I watched more of his videos. And then I started watching more and more videos about Puerto Rico, about Portugal, about all these different places in the world. And the whole, move where you're treated best kind of philosophy really started to sink in. And the reality is, it's such a big deal and it's so all-consuming to do something like this that it wasn't an easy decision. But we finally made it, and we literally sold everything we owned. We either sold everything or we gave it away. And we sold the cars, we sold the house, just everything. We basically took my computers, which are the end-all be-all for me. We took my computers and we took some clothes, our pets, and our daughter, and we got on a plane and came to Puerto Rico. We didn't have any contacts. We didn't have anything, really. Just our bank account in the States, some clothes, and my computers. We got an Airbnb in Dorado. And let me just tell you, for anybody considering that, know this. Exaggerating perks and benefits of an Airbnb is a norm. Apparently here in Puerto Rico, you're going to overspend. They're going to underdeliver, and it's probably going to be some sort of nightmare. But we had an Airbnb for a while, and it wasn't all bad, but it was not fun. And much smaller than we expected. We didn't have any hot water. It just a lot of craziness. But that we just kind of looked at it as all part of the adventure. And then we actually did get very, very lucky. I mean, we looked at properties for pretty much the entire time. I mean, like the day after we got to Puerto Rico, we were looking at properties, and we were looking at properties in Dorado primarily because that's where everybody kept telling us to go. That's where everybody was saying, you got to move here, you got to move there. And the prices in Dorado are so inflated, and you're basically overpaying for a much smaller space. And it's nice, don't get me wrong, Dorado's beautiful, it's very nice, but the whole island's beautiful. And I've just never been in a place like this, really. And I will say that the people here, we ended up getting a good deal. We got a beautiful home, much less than what we sold our mainland home for. So that all worked out tremendously. And the people here, even though I don't speak Spanish at all, I know a couple words. And I know a few words, that's it. My wife has been learning for several months. She says she's at a 4-year-old's level understanding of Spanish, but I think she does better than that. She can read it better than she can speak it. And the thing of it is here in Puerto Rico, Spanish is spoken differently, in the sense that it's very quick, and it's almost like people don't enunciate the end of any word in Spanish, and it all kind of comes together. So it's much trickier than like if you were to learn Spanish in Spain or something like that, or even Mexico for that matter. It's its own kind of version of Spanish. And the people here have been so nice that it's almost uncomfortable. And by that I mean, you know how I talked about like where we're from, where everybody's really nice up front, but they're all kind of judgy and they all have something to say behind your back kind of thing. It's like the people in Puerto Rico are so genuinely sweet. Yes, everybody's kind of trying to hustle and bustle to make a living, but people just gravitate, and they're all so nice, and they want to help you, and they want to tell you what they know about the island. Everybody knows somebody on the island. It's such a community thing, and it doesn't matter where you are, and everybody's just so sweet to the point where it hasn't made me uncomfortable to some degree, because I'm just not used to people being genuinely nice and not even wanting anything, none of that. So it's such a big deal. Now, the flip side to everybody being nice is I think everybody goes through a nice what's the word I'm looking for? Exorcism when they get into their car. Because I'm not even kidding. The driving here is unlike anything I've ever seen anywhere. There are virtually no traffic laws. If there are traffic laws, nobody follows them. If you're in the States or probably anywhere else, you'll probably say, okay, if you come to a four-way intersection but there's no working street light, what happens generally? Generally, everybody kind of round robins and takes a turn, right? You go, okay, now they go, and then you go, and then the person, and it just kind of keeps going that way until everybody gets through one at a time. Here, everybody just rushes to the center of the intersection, causes a momentary gridlock, and then kind of weaves around each other. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And like, it's almost, and now we're not even sure, this has happened so many times, we're not even sure if it's some sort of law here that we're not aware of, but it seems like people that are turning left have the right of way because people will just cut you off and then act like you're the asshole. I've never seen anything like it. People don't stop. If nobody uses turn signals here, I made a joke on Facebook. If you want to find a gringo in Puerto Rico, look for the turn signal because the locals don't use them. The roads, the main roads aren't really too bad, but if you start getting out around the main roads, you'll find a lot of potholes. And what's weird is you'll find potholes that are outlined in yellow, but they're still there. And I'm thinking, if you know where they are, why don't you fill them? But it is like, I'm not kidding. The first 3 days being here, like, I was beyond stressed to the point where I had a stress headache. My hands were aching because I was gripping the steering wheel so hard and didn't even realize it. Because it was defensive driving cranked to 11. You're constantly, not only are you scanning for potholes, but you're also scanning for people cutting you off. I've adopted a new term, a lane check. A lane check to me, from what I've seen in Puerto Rico, is people just swerving into your car at random for no reason at all. I'm not joking. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. But you'll see it all the time. People are just driving and they'll just swerve into other cars and then back into their lane. You'll see what I've learned is called lane splitting, where people will basically drive down the center line, almost like they're using that line to center their vehicle, not using it to separate the lanes. It's absolute insanity. I truly have never seen it. But the thing of it is for as crazy as people are on the road here, I'm pretty sure as soon as they get out of their car, they're the sweetest person on the island. It's just unlike anything I've ever seen. The weather here is so beautiful, though. It's basically an average of about 82 degrees constantly, with very regular but short-lived regular but short-lived rains. Like, it'll rain for like 5 minutes and then boom, it's gone, the sun's out again, and it just kind of happens pretty frequently, and that's honestly pretty pleasant. So yeah, I mean, that's Puerto Rico. And look, you know, there are a lot of benefits to moving to Puerto Rico, and it was a bit of a process. They call us crypto people here on the island Kryptonites. So we apparently have our own name. I met a gentleman named Christian Ruiz who I met him when I bought our car. And he's a big crypto guy, and he helps a lot of people in crypto, but he does it all in Spanish, and he tries to educate people on the island about cryptocurrencies and setting up wallets and things. Super cool guy. He knows everybody. He knows all of the big people in Puerto Rico and everything else. And but I'm probably going to have him on the channel at some point, and try and, you know, basically point Spanish-speaking people to him, because I'm going to be helping helping him. He's helping me on the island. I'm going to be helping him, and super cool guy. And so expect that at some point in the future. I have some paid segments that I'm not going to be doing in this video, but I will be doing them throughout the week. I am back. And but yeah, we did it. My home is Puerto Rico now, and so far it's been an eye-opening, exciting experience, and so far I'm very glad that we've done that. So yeah, wow, about 606 of you guys live right now. That's a nice shot of Puerto Rico. So let's get into some updates on what's been going on in the world. And if you watch this video, in the comments below, if you have any questions about Puerto Rico, moving to Puerto Rico, any of that stuff, feel free to ask me in the comments. Obviously, be wary of people pretending to be me. I don't promote WhatsApp. I don't promote I don't really promote anything in the comments of my videos. And if I did, it would be pinned by me. It wouldn't just be some random spam on all the comments. So be wary of that. It's been a while since I've been live on YouTube, so I wanted to make sure that I addressed that once again. The crime, from everything that I've understood, a lot of the crime on the island is basically gang versus gang type stuff. And it's, you know, if you're not generally, from what I understand, if you're not, like, a lot of the communities are gated. I thought it was just kind of you know, like if you have a nicer home. No, I mean, a lot of the areas that we've seen are gated communities with guards at the gates and stuff 24/7, that sort of thing. A lot of the crime, from what I understand, tends to be drug related, gang related, things like that. So if you're not involved in any of that stuff, you shouldn't really have anything to worry about. Obviously, you don't want to go and get lost at night and travel down some back alley somewhere you're not familiar with. Because then, of course, you never know. You don't want to invade other people's territory, especially at bad times. But that's kind of how it is in any major city, you know. So, I don't know what to say about that, other than everything that I've been told from everybody that I've spoken with has basically said, look, if you're not, yes, you can own a gun. It's a little more complicated than it is on the mainland, believe it or not, but you can own guns in Puerto Rico. Another thing too you're gonna see is dispensaries. Like, weed dispensaries are everywhere. I mean, to the point where it's almost like a McDonald's, because they're pretty much almost, they're just everywhere you look. And you'll see like 420 dispensaries, or I mean, there are several others, but they're all over the place. So we'll be talking more about Puerto Rico in future videos, but I wanted to address some things that I've been seeing in the market. I'm not going to go big into everything in the market. I am going to be focusing primarily on Ethereum, because Ethereum and Cardano, because this has just been an insane price pump with Ethereum. And I know that, I mean, look at this here. That's 147% since February 21st. So 140, almost 148%. Ethereum price increase now, and I know that there's news of things like JP Morgan, you know, one of the big groups that was always downplaying crypto, telling everybody it was a scam and to stay away and this and that. It's funny how so many of these big players in the market have turned around with their own vehicles for investing in cryptocurrencies, and the whole time, you know, they're basically downplaying cryptocurrencies. They're basically preparing everything to launch these products. And you know, a lot of people have asked me, you know, you're a big holder in ADA, what do you think is going to happen because Ethereum's pumping? Well, for one thing, if you remember, right before I went on vacation, I basically said the peak is coming. The first peak of this bull market is coming. I said I believe that we are going to experience a similar two-peak bull market like we had in 2013. And the pi oscillator basically demonstrated that pretty much exactly. The only difference is the drop was very short-lived, which also plays into my theory that this bull market may not end up the way we've seen previous bull markets since Bitcoin's inception play out. In other words, we might not see a big 85%, 90% correction in the crypto market at the peak of this next peak of the bull market, or the conclusion, quote unquote, to this current bull market. And so when I see stuff like this right now, I know that, apparently JP Morgan and some other folks work together to create some sort of Ethereum bond investment product, which has been sending interest up in Ethereum. And I also am aware that apparently some of these second layer protocols on Ethereum have been helping reduce transaction fees, which is fantastic. I've always said I'm not an Ethereum hater. What I am is a Cardano lover. And so because of that, I believe that when the time is right, we're going to see Cardano really take over Ethereum. Now, some of you guys that are looking at a lot of what's going on, and you're getting scared and you're thinking, oh, I've got Cardano, I've been accumulating for a while, Crow, what do I do? Ethereum keeps pumping. Listen, Ethereum keeps pumping because of the current news, because of what's going on. But what happens every time we see a significant pump in the market or of a particular asset? Well, we either see a flash crash generally, or a sharp correction, or we see it kind of come down into a bit of an accumulation period that lasts however long it lasts. And typically when you're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you're talking about such a correction, a lot of the profit established from these really hard increases in price start going into alternative coins outside of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Celsius Network, I mean, they're I feel like every time they add a new exchange to their liquidity options, they go lower. And I believe that this is also something that is it's kind of laying down a liquidity foundation for the future, because the same people that are taking profits on Celsius Network because of everything that they're doing, those outlets are also going to enable more people to get in when things really start to kick off. We all know that Celsius Network is building a version of itself on the Cardano blockchain right now. We also know that things like Divi Token, one of my other big things, I love Divi Token. I love their community. I love the development team. I love their effort. I love everything they're doing fundamentally. They've got a lot of stuff coming. They're getting into the DeFi space with wrapped Divi, which is going to be a really big deal. So a lot of people are going to start getting out of Divi and converting it into wrapped Divi tokens so that they can start taking advantage of utilizing their Divi for DeFi applications and other DeFi protocols and things. That's going to open up a whole new economy for Divi users, on top of the fact that it's a masternode coin that produces very, very solid returns. So these are my the three projects that I really love. And I expect that, especially with Cardano, and I've got a whole slew of articles I'm going to touch on. I'm not going to go over every one of them in great detail, but just in case you haven't been paying attention for whatever reason, because I've been away. What's up, George? And I'm gonna go through a lot of the comments in chat as well here in a little bit. Wow, my hair is a little messy. Been busy, been very, very busy. But as you're gonna see here, we got a blood diamond, which typically means we're gonna get some downward momentum to the price. And this stuff does not shock me. I would love to see Cardano at like 250 right now. I would. If I'm honest, I would love to see Cardano higher. But we've got until August, apparently, until the smart contract protocols, Goguen, and all that fun stuff actually launches. But in the meantime, what we're getting a lot of growth in activity, number of wallet addresses. The transaction percentage continues to grow. I mean, just this headline, Cardano's active addresses up 417% in 2021, while transactions count grows 382%. And you can see these charts and these metrics. Cardano is actively growing, and they're growing by adding so much to their economy. I don't know how many people aren't familiar with what's been going on. Cardano Africa special event soured by fact-checking calls. I don't even know what a lot of this stuff is. The Africa special event aired on Thursday, showing Cardano developments on the continent. At the time of writing, the show has hit over 120,000 views, with IOG CEO Charles Hoskinson calling it the most popular show they've done to date. Although the response was largely positive, with a wide range of mainstream and crypto publications covering the event, Hoskinson spoke about a distinct lack of coverage from CoinDesk. And that has been an ongoing thing. It seems like CoinDesk, Cointelegraph have been kind of shunning Cardano for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's kind of like a Trump effect where, you know, they just don't like Charles for whatever reason, so they're not like making an effort to support the project. But and I don't know if it's maybe you know, these are private media organizations. Maybe they hold Ethereum. Maybe they don't like the fact that Cardano is really working on building a case against Ethereum and providing a much better platform all the way around when compared to Ethereum, and they don't really like that, and they're not looking to support it. Maybe they haven't accumulated. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what the cause is, but Charles has actively called this out on his Twitter account many, many times, that while everyone else in the world is supporting what they're doing with articles and write-ups and so forth, these other websites are not. I know that you could buy spots on some of these websites. I don't know exactly which ones, but I know that you can do paid articles on some of these websites. Maybe that's what they're hoping for. I don't really know, but there's definitely some issues with that. And, you know, it's definitely not very fair, but such is the way of life, I guess, when it comes to this kind of thing. Now, connecting the unconnected. Cardano to bring stable internet connectivity to Africa via a partnership with World Mobile. This is a pretty big deal. There are so many. Here's the thing. I can't even fit a lot of the content in this video or a lot of the articles. I'm going to cover them throughout the week, and we're going to discuss things in more detail. This is just kind of a welcome back Monday video to get your mind working and thinking about what Cardano is doing on a fundamental level to establish its own ecosystem, even before smart contracts. No cryptocurrency project has ever done what Cardano is doing, folks. None. I don't know of any. Not even Bitcoin has done this. I mean, Bitcoin has done a slow, organic grow over time with adoption, with, you know, starting with different groups and growing, and that's fantastic. It's strong. But when you're talking about a market with over 7,000 different blockchains, cryptocurrencies, stable tokens, this, that, and another thing, nobody's done what Cardano is doing. And I'm telling you right now, I know that there's going to be a day when Cardano really, really takes off, and I'm going to make sure that I retain mine. I'm not trading it out. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm holding strong because my belief in the project, to be quite honest, at this point is virtually unshakable. IOHK's foray into developing countries, especially African nations, has been welcomed with delight as the blockchain company announced a partnership with global telecommunications company World Mobile. This cooperation was officially announced during the ongoing Cardano Africa special, and it's in line with IOHK's vision to connect the unconnected. I like that. It kind of reminds me of Alex Mashinsky's slogan, bank the unbanked, or unbank yourself, that sort of thing. At first, the two partners will direct their efforts on Zanzibar and Tanzania. Specifically, they will employ a unique approach to provide reliable internet connectivity to people in the said regions with renewable solar-powered energy. Now, think about this. You're basically trying to establish your blockchain and your cryptocurrency as ultimately the backbone to an entire continent, okay? Some of these continents don't have interconnectivity. They don't have internet. So they are truly, I mean, IOHK is ultimately looking to not just build adoption, but build the means for that adoption in countries that are still not yet able to do so, I guess you could say. And I'm telling you, think about it this way, and I know this might be a little bit of a dark way of thinking about it, but think about Japan. Think about how fast Japan has grown since the atomic bomb blasted them to hell in a handbasket, okay? Obviously, that's not a good thing, but the country was decimated. And look how far advanced they are now, from population to development to the economy, like you name it. How much have they bounced back? And so now you're talking about, oh gosh, I guess it's been a while since we've gotten these guys. I guess they fell off the planet for a little while. So anyway, now you're talking about building fundamentally the means for an ecosystem on a continent, starting with specific countries that are the most in need. And from there, you're going to start seeing this spidered growth throughout all of Africa. And from there, you're also going to see growth outside of Africa. You're going to see growth in a lot of different places around the world once Africa has proven its use case, its metrics, its usability, its functionality, so forth and so on. And so, to me, everything that they're doing, it's truly blowing my mind, and we have literally never seen anything like it. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I don't think you're going to have anything to say because I'm pretty sure I'm right. Based on the Atala Prism decentralized identity solution, IOHK and World Mobile will build a network node atop the Cardano blockchain. This node will be utilized by businesses and will work as a local relay to offer local internet connection. Users will be required to subscribe through Atala Prism so as to access the internet connection, and thereafter seamlessly access healthcare, digital banking, education, and other vital services. Charles Hoskinson noted that blockchain technology, Atala Prism in particular, opens a whole new set of possibilities for people in Africa, according to an April 29th press release. We see blockchain as a powerful force for social good. Through our digital ID solution, Atala Prism, people who were previously unable to verify their identity, complicating and often preventing access to vital services like healthcare, will now be able to do so. And here's the other thing to this too, folks. Whether you like it or not, we are definitely entering a place where we are going to have, I truly believe that we are going to have global identification cards at some point. And I would personally, like, if we're going to have it, I would love to see it on Cardano. And I truly believe that at this point, it could be very likely that we see that kind of technology happening on Cardano. And I see that happening on Cardano because of Voltaire. I see election processes being handled on Cardano. Honestly, I feel that Africa is as much a test bed for blockchain technology in a variety of different use cases as it's been for other things, much less positive. Okay, and so for better or worse, I really believe that Charles Hoskinson, IOHK, Emergo, the team is just, they're really focusing on Africa for a lot of different reasons, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. And I think that from establishing those metrics, from establishing that groundwork, we're going to see so much exponential growth. Obviously, we're all waiting on Goguen. We're all waiting for all the DeFi apps and the NFT marketplaces and all that fun stuff. We're waiting for all these special bells and whistles, but ultimately, Cardano's not resting on their laurels, folks. They're developing, they're building really key partnerships that are going to take this thing to all new levels. This past week was under the sign of AdaPay and the partnership with the Cardano Foundation. We have been at work for some time, and we are thrilled to see the fruits of this partnership being collected. Here's our weekly recap. AdaPay on Shelly Mainnet is now live. Yesterday was a big deal with the announcement of the launch of AdaPay on Cardano's Shelly Mainnet. The AdaPay system comes with a full suite of payment gateway, donations gateway, and a full merchant back office. AdaPay is launched with the first merchant being the famous charitable organization Save the Children. We are humbled and thankful to take part in such a noble cause and to enable the Cardano ecosystem users to donate ADA using the ADA Pay gateway. And let's see here. Capital Venture interviewed Cody's CEO. That's cool. Cardano Live podcast. Cool. And basically, there's some conventions and things. So ADA Pay, that's up. Are Cardano investors an echo chamber? Traders scrutinize hype behind red hot crypto asset. This is from May 1st. A Redditor is taking a closer look at the hype surrounding the Cardano smart contract platform, questioning whether its fan base is too loyal to remain objective about the project. Now, here's something I want to interject. I consider myself one of the oldest, both in physical age as well as based on the date of my adoption of Cardano back in 2017. I've followed the project basically since inception. I've been talking about it long before the vast majority out there in the interwebs and YouTube were talking about it. And yeah, I'm a fanboy. I'm a loyalist, I guess you could say. I am a hard nut to crack, much like many others are for Ethereum or other projects out there, Polkadot, you name it. Everybody's got their favorite cookie, right? So, and that's okay. That's what makes the world turn. It's the competition that continues to drive these projects to the top and pushes the developers, the teams, the marketing people, you name it. It pushes these people to push further and further. And for me, Cardano is my number one pick, and it always has been. And I believe that it is. I mean, keep in mind, I've been saying this since it was 2 cents. Now, I've been saying it since it was 13, rose up, dropped down to 2 cents in a bear market, and now it's risen back up. And so, listen, I definitely am loyal to Cardano. But I'm not blind either. And by that I mean, if something significant were to take place, I would discuss it. I wouldn't snow over it, and I wouldn't just ignore it because of my love for Cardano. I'm also very much a realist. I'm not I'm not always right, and I call that often as well if I'm wrong about something in particular, but often I tend to be right more often than I'm wrong. And I've also learned over the last 3 years that when my gut has told me something and I didn't act on it, I've always regretted it. And my gut continues to tell me that Cardano is going to have its day or month or whatever you call it. And beyond that, and that's just in price action, okay? That's not even necessarily, that doesn't even mean anything when it comes to its adoption or anything, okay? Its use case, its fundamentals, yada, yada, yada. That's a whole different thing. That's gonna continue to grow for years and years. I'm not worried about that. But sentiment in crypto is obviously a big thing. And we also see that fundamentals don't always carry price action the way we'd like it to or think it should, because there's so much manipulation in crypto as well. And depending on the project, it's very easy for somebody to go out there, pay a bunch of people a bunch of money to talk about something, drive that price up, and then they start liquidating assets at the top of that. And so you just never really know. But ultimately, I don't consider myself naive enough. Maybe I am. I mean, but I wholeheartedly believe in Cardano. So we all love Cardano here and crypto in general, and that's great. I enjoy this Reddit page, but there's a danger we become an echo chamber. Are there any negatives to Cardano you can think of? Why would someone not invest? With every pro, there is inevitably going to be some cons. It's not necessarily true, especially with the way that's worded. That's assuming that for every pro, there are multiple cons, and that's not true. According to a Reddit user, the main shortcoming of Cardano is that it still lacks smart contract functionality, something which its central competitor Ethereum has had for nearly a decade. Okay, fair enough. The most common criticism I see in other subreddits is the lack of smart contracts. The company behind Cardano, IOHK, announced earlier this month that smart contracts would launch on the blockchain this August. So here's the thing. Even though Goguen and smart contracts aren't necessarily going to launch on Cardano until August, A, we have a pretty firm time frame. B, in between now and then, I can guarantee you we're going to see more and more and more and more projects developing on Cardano, using the test net, using the resources provided to them to enable them to be ready for the August mainnet launch. And what we're going to start seeing as we get closer to that, I'm pretty confident, is we're going to start seeing a lot of these projects start to warm the communities up as we get closer and closer to that time frame. And we're going to see more project announcements of these different projects for different use cases announcing that they will be launching on mainnet in August alongside Goguen. And I think that alone, over the course of these next several months, are going to really start driving up more interest, more adoption, and so forth. And then come August, when that does launch, it's going to be absolute insanity. Why? Because we're likely going to be closer to the peak of the bull market at that point, with maybe a month or two more to go. And so, and if you think about it, whatever we accomplish between now and August in terms of price action, adoption, and the like, we also have the potential to see 300% growth just over the last 30 days of the peak of the market. Because if you look at previous markets, to see August is not guaranteed, it is just an estimate. That's fair. It could happen before then. It could happen later. We don't know, but at least it's a pretty firm time frame. So listen, I know that a lot of people are basically saying, oh my gosh, we don't have smart contracts yet, yada, yada, yada. I get it. It's a little frustrating, but has Cardano really let anybody down yet? Yes, there have been some delays. Yes, but that's with any legitimate project. You know, a project less legitimate would just rush a lot of crap out the door to say they've done it, leave all the holes, and then end up getting hacked or something happens to it. They make excuses and then they just go away. Is that what everybody wants? I mean, look at, people are saying Ethereum's had smart contracts now for a decade. Sure. Look at all the problems that Ethereum has had. Look at all the hacks that different protocols and projects and so forth have had on the Ethereum blockchain. Look at how expensive it's been to utilize the Ethereum blockchain. For how long now? I mean, yes, it's been around and it's had smart contracts. I mean, it was basically the grand poobah that launched it. But it's almost like coming out with a brand new vehicle for any different company, right? You hardly ever want to buy that first edition, that the first time a new vehicle is launched, a new fleet or whatever with a car company, because you know it's going to be riddled with problems. And it's going to keep you spending more money fixing those problems over time than just waiting for the perfected model the next season or the season after that. A lot of what Ethereum did was launch something fantastic that really did help establish the growth of the cryptocurrency space. Ethereum, I credit Ethereum with so much in the crypto space. Let's be real. If it weren't for Ethereum, I probably wouldn't even be here. So I'm not saying that that Ethereum doesn't deserve its place. What I'm saying is Ethereum is second generation, Cardano is third generation, and when it launches smart contracts, hopefully in August, maybe even before, Ethereum is definitely going to feel it. I really do believe it's going to feel it, and I believe that a lot of the profit that's made from Ethereum at that point are going to end up being dumped into Cardano for a blow off top like we've never seen. And I could be wrong, but that's just what I personally expect to see. Cardano expands influence in Africa, sparking new interest. I mean, this is all stuff we pretty much knew. A lot of people have been talking about this while I was away. But, the Minister of Education confirmed that his agency is interested in taking advantage of the benefits of blockchain technology to help improve the quality of education. The Identity Solution Protocol will enable the federal agency to monitor school performance and boost education efforts across 3,500 schools with 5 million students and 750,000 teachers. And you know what I see when I read this right now? I see this being a test bed for what I could only imagine being planned for China. This literally just popped in my head as I'm reading this. The Identity Solution Protocol will enable the federal agency to monitor school performance and boost education efforts across 3,500 schools with 5 million students and 750,000 teachers. Who loves to monitor the actions of everybody within its confines? China. Who do we know has relationships in China? Charles. Who would love to see something like this integrated throughout all of China to billions of people? Cardano. What would they need to do to pull off such a relationship or such adoption? Start it somewhere like Africa, prove its use case, sort out the bugs, make sure it all works and fluid, and then establish the big grand poobah. And what else do I think can come from that? This exact kind of technology and use case can be adopted on a global level with a national ID card integrated with Voltaire for global voting. Listen, folks, I don't talk about a lot of this stuff too much, but when I see the direction Cardano is going with its use case, with its technology, how it's being developed and designed, I'm telling you, I think there's even, and here's the thing, and I want to make sure this is clear. Yes, I have a relationship with Charles. No, we have never talked about any of this. I don't know for a fact any of this. I really don't. Charles and I, we hardly ever really talk about anything truly like useful. He never gives me any like nitty gritty or like, oh, here's the real deal, Crow. It's nothing like that. It's basically like, I'll send messages to him for a week. He leaves them all on red, and then like a month from now he'll say, hey, what are you doing? You want to go live? Like, you know, we don't really talk in depth. Any conversations we've had really have been live on YouTube. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm like coming up with something or I'm trying to drop some birds or whatever. I'm not. That's not it. Yeah, I mean, I'm reading this and I'm thinking everything that's going on in Africa, I believe is truly a test bed for much, much larger use cases in other parts of the world. And, you know, look, if I'm right, oh man, if I'm right, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. But like sometimes I read some of this stuff and things just hit me and I'm like, wow, I instantly saw China, and I saw China being able to utilize this same technology for similar reasons, but on a much grander scale, and them ultimately wanting to see some use case, some adoption, some success with this technology before they start doing anything about it. So, you know, it is what it is. Ethereum is just keeps going up. 31.21. What are we at right now? 32.57, new all-time high. I'm pretty sure. At least we did hit a new all-time high. So, listen, folks, I appreciate you checking things out. I am back. I'm going to be diving much deeper into things as we move forward. I've got some really cool paid segments that I'm going to be doing in some of the future videos this week. I've got some mentions, and hold on, let me see something real quick. Let me see. Okay, let me see. All right, I guess I'll do this one. Trust swap. This is a paid segment. It's really only like a quick 1 minute thing. They paid 0.35. I don't know how that's even accurate. It says paid $750, but it was 0.35 Ethereum at the time, so maybe it's just gone up quite a bit. Trust swap launches new flash drop program together with Yield app. The flash drop program is designed to incentivize smaller stakers, add utility to the swap token, and create exciting opportunities for our loyal Trust Swap community. This is just the first step in decreasing the barrier of entry for new token holders while not diluting the rest of the staking community. The first flash drop will be Yield app, a DeFi-based wealth management platform offering up to 20% APY on USD Tether, USDC, Ethereum, and soon Bitcoin. Yield app launched on the Trust Swap Launchpad on December 7th, 2020, with a very solid team of industry heavyweights and a plan to revolutionize DeFi investing. The YLD token has since soared to an all-time high of over 1,700% above launch price as they continue to deliver innovative technology and grow their community. The flash drop will give 3,000 Trust Swap users the opportunity to win 500 YLD tokens each without any investment requirements through a fully transparent on-chain lottery system. So you can find this on Medium if you're interested. This was a paid segment. They paid $750 at the time for a quick mention of what they've got going on. If you're interested in winning some stuff, check it out. Just look this up on Medium. So Trust Swap, there are so many different aggregators now. I feel like there's so many popping up, and obviously I have BitSwap. Or Crow Swap, sorry. You saw a little mention about it. You've got Flash or Trust Swap. There's so many, but this one looks like they're looking to try and give away some stuff. I haven't done any big due diligence or anything like that on this. It's just a paid segment. But yeah. Oh, and another thing too is since moving to Puerto Rico, my allergies have all but gone away. I mean, I tell you what, I'm getting a little itchy now. A lot of it is from my beard. I need to thin my beard out again. But ultimately, I've been feeling better. I have been waking up so early. I normally wake up at 10. I'm waking up at 7:30 now. It's kind of crazy. And I don't know if it's because of all the birds and everything going on. But I'm really hoping to be able to start really getting healthier overall. The food has been fantastic. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much. And I'm going to be talking about Puerto Rico more and more. If you're thinking about doing it, have some fun and just maybe go for it, depending on where you're at in life. If you just need a change of scenery, a change of pace, you just want to expose yourself to new cultures, new people, new ways of life, Puerto Rico may very well be a good option for you. So look into it. But that's about it. I mean, on for an hour on a Monday. I am here. I am back. I'm going to try and go live every day about 1 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully you guys will join me. Leave your comments, your questions, and everything below. And I will see you guys again very soon. Thank you for joining me today. I love you guys. I missed everybody. And I'll be reading through all these chats and all this stuff later on. And I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. Crow your coins, folks. Have a great